Initially, there were no real indications of a problem, were there?
No. At first, we had no idea, really. It wasn't really till the last minute that we knew that there was a problem with Ella Jane, which is, I think, if we'd have had time to get used to the idea, it may have been a little bit easier on both of us, but we didn't have that time.
So this was the 35-week scan, and then all the red bells went off.
Yes. There's the obstetrician who was doing the scan. I could see there was something in his, you can see there's something wrong, and he went out and got somebody else, and a bunch of people came in and they just said, look, she's, there's something wrong, she's too small, her head's too small, and consequently I stayed in that night.
She was out the next day.
Yeah, and they took her out the next day.
Cesarean straight away.
Yeah.
And the treatment that you got whilst she was in hospital, because she was in hospital for, I think, half her life, wasn't she? And then you were able to take her home for the last 4 months of her life. And the care that you had then, at the time, you're just going with it. You're in like, you don't know what's going on, you're just surviving and coping with what you can.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, looking back at the care and treatment that she got, it was extraordinary.
Oh, it was
amazing.
Incredible. She was in the paediatric intensive care unit, which was awe-inspiring, and the people that worked there were incredible, and that's why it was so important to Jim and I, when Ella Jane passed, that we gave back to those people who helped us through such a traumatic, desperate time. And what we're doing at the moment, again, is sort of trying to give back to them. So,
well, you dealt with her loss. I mean, and many people deal with these things in different ways. And you went to Cambodia.
We did. We decided we could either stay here and wallow, which we thought would be pretty unhealthy. So we went over to Southeast Asia and we volunteered to work in orphanages to put sort of the grief into perspective, which really helped. It was a fantastic opportunity, wasn't it? And yeah, it really helped us get through that process.
And then you came back and you set up the trust.
Yeah, we did.
And we meet so many people who find that in itself is an empowering, the way of taking back control over something that you had no control over.
It's very cathartic, isn't it?
And it's a way of making something really quite awful better. Every time we raise money, every time we do something that makes a difference to the hospital or to the south of England in its entirety, makes Ella Jane's pain and our pain worth it. So,
were you the first campaign, hugely successful, over £300,000. You extended the ward, 2 extra beds, which are hugely important, and you have a new campaign.
We do. Well, we've been given £2 million by the government, which is incredible in itself, and we now have to match fund that £2 million to make £4 million to build a major trauma centre which will cover the whole of the south of England.
So this is at Southampton University Hospital?
It will be in that area, but it will cover 9 counties from East Sussex all the way up to Oxfordshire, so it's got a big reach.
Hundreds of thousands of kids it will cater for, should they need it. So it's pretty much for the whole south of England.
And this new care unit, I mean, these are facilities that you would be compared to Great Ormond Street.
Oh, yes, absolutely. It's going to be a wonderful department. At the moment at Southampton, the children and the adults share an A&E, which is just an awful thing. You don't want a kid going in and there's a drunk person next to them or somebody having a heart attack. It's just not good. And there are so many people taken to Southampton A&E because it's such an important hospital. It needs to be much bigger. It needs to come into the 21st century.
And you do stress this is not just for Southampton. This is the whole area.
Outside London, it will hopefully work alongside Great Ormond Street and definitely be on a level with Great Ormond Street.
If your child was critically ill in any of those counties, that's where it would go.
I was interested when I looked at how much you needed to raise. It's £4 million to raise. It doesn't seem, to get what you are wanting to provide, doesn't seem that much.
Well, because the shell of the A&E is actually already there. The government funded a proper children's hospital at Southampton years ago, but the funding was taken away for one reason or another. But they did manage to build the shell of the department, so we just need to fill it. So that's why it doesn't sound like... Yeah,
they've offered to match you, haven't they?
Yeah.
Well, they match funded via the Evening Standard.
Oh, this is the Great Ormond Street.
Great Ormond Street did an appeal a few years ago, and if the paper, the Standard, raised £1.5 million, then the government would match fund that for a £3 million appeal that was going on at Great Ormond Street. So we thought, well, why can't they do that for us? And we lobbied with our local MPs, and George Osborne in the spring budget gave us £2 million as long as we could match fund it to make the £4 million.
So you must have had a bit of a panic when off he went.
Yeah, we were slightly nervous that we would lose the £2 million.
But it's all fine and it's all there. But you have got a time limit on this.
We do have a time limit.
The time is of the essence.
Yeah, we've given ourselves 2 years. We launched the appeal on June the 7th this year, so we've got 2 years from June the 7th this year to get that £2 million.
We will put all of the details on our website so that anyone who wants to help can. The best of luck. It's a big ask, but what a massive benefit that would be to the
It'll be great. We're looking for major donors.
We're looking for major donors, cornerstone donors. There's naming rights. There's all sorts of...
Well, you learn a lot doing these sort of things.
Yeah.
And you put it all together, you know, learn all sorts of different things. So once you've done it there, maybe if that's successful, then you can maybe do it a little bit further north.
Yeah, just keep doing it.
And keep going.
Keep going.
And what a wonderful legacy as well for Ella Jo.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Well done.
Thank you.